I've said this before and I'll say it again. If your therapist is making notes, you should also be making notes. So in your next therapy session, take a notepad and a pen and write everything down that you find important. If you find it distracting to write during therapy, then I'd suggest that after your session, that's when you do your notes. Write about what you thought of the therapy session, any positives, any negatives. If certain topics reminded you of something else that you might want to discuss in another session, a referral you need to ask for, or a medication you want to change, note that down. The more you do this, the better you're able to guide your therapist towards the help that you actually need. When I first started therapy, it was very uncomfortable for me because it often felt like I was in school. But that's not what therapy is. Therapy is for you, and you have control over what it is that you talk about or work on. Yes, your therapist can also suggest based on their professional opinion what to do, but I want you to remember that you always have control here. This is helpful for when your therapist asks you questions like, what is it that you would like from our sessions? Or is there something else that you would like for us to work on together? That's when you bring up your notes, those things that you've written down. The reason why I suggest doing all of this is that by you making suggestions for what it is you discuss in therapy, it's very empowering. It gives you confidence to stand up for yourself, advocate for yourself, and also to take charge over what it is that is being focused on in your sessions. Especially if you're doing private therapy, you're paying for this. This is your money going into this. So you have every right to say, this is what I want to discuss. This is what I want to work on. Or maybe there's something that you didn't like that your therapist said. Bring that up. I've certainly had sessions where I thought that I was being heard, but that wasn't really the case. You can write that down, find a way to communicate that in obviously a polite way to your therapist and say, I didn't like this. Can we not do that again? Or I don't like when you discuss my life in a certain way. The best thing about writing down things in your sessions is that you can refer to them at any point in your life. This is how I'm making these videos, because I am reading over everything that I have and it's giving me ideas to share with you guys. I'm not in therapy at the moment, but because I have everything written down, whenever I find myself worried about something or I'm concerned about something, I know that I can refer back to my notepads that have this information that I wrote about. And it's become a well of knowledge for myself. It's become part of my coping strategy. I am referring back to my notes. And of course, you don't have to just write this down on paper. You can type it up. Whatever it is that you prefer to do that. Just make sure that you keep a record of your sessions, especially if you're paying for them. Like, you gotta get something back, right?